Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GameDay Squad Aussie Rules live stream. We are here today to preview round 21. There's only a couple of rounds left. We are at the pointy end of the season, but now more than ever, it is important to smash some of these decisions that you're making and get your squad on top of the leaderboard. I am joined by a stranger, but a good friend in Cal today on the show, mate. Welcome back. It has been a while. How have things been since your hiatus?
Mate, it's been good. It's been good. Good to be back. It feels a bit weird. I have enjoyed sitting down and watching you and all the different guests you've had on throughout the year. But I tell you what, I was in a much better spot on the leaderboard last time I was on here. I think you've purposely got me on this week after I've fallen about 10 spots in the last 2 weeks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when I was up there in the top three, it's a big fall. So I'm hanging on for dear life for one of those prize cards, and I know you're knocking on the door to try and get one. So yeah, it's only a few rounds left, but there are a few very important rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, we're going to be previewing round 21. Hopefully, we're going to be giving some great advice today. If anyone is in the chat watching along, whether you're here live or wherever you are, drop some comments if you want to know anything, at least what we're thinking for the round in particular. I'm going to discuss some key points a little later when I talk about my rankings because there is some pretty big news overall. But before we get into it all, what we're going to do is talk about the announcements, the people who are going to be playing, the players who aren't playing, and maybe some opportunities. Then we'll go through some rankings, and then we'll show off both of our squads nice and full and ready to dominate. So, Cal, ready to rip in, mate?
I'm ready to rip in because I know there's a huge in this week that you just couldn't wait for the show to start, for you to start talking about. So I can't wait till we get to that part.
I'm definitely not keen. I know exactly what you're talking about. We'll give him a mention when we get there so everyone else following along understands as well. But in the first game tonight, the big news here, Toby Green out due to a suspension. What a grub he is. Can't stand that dude. Just,
For those who haven't seen, go check out his. He was on a podcast this week and he was talking about what Tom Papley sent him after the game. It's hilarious. Definitely worth a watch of those 2-minute snips. But yeah, no, he's out. I don't think he was going to be playing anyway. So I don't think there's any news in that game that you really care about.
Other than that, not really, mate. Hogan in big key forward, and I know that the doggies have been struggling this year with key forward. So potentially, if you want to play a big pod, Jesse Hogan could just be your man. The next game, Crows Hawthorn. Nothing too significant here. I guess one of their good ball winners for the Crows in Rory Laird is being managed, so he will be on the sideline, and Chol comes back in for Hawthorn there as well.
Yeah, that's a sneaky one. Interesting game to manage him for because it's obviously a pretty big game. But I don't think it sort of opens anything up for anyone else. So, no. But keen to see what people think.
Yeah, look, I do think there's probably a little bit more to that than just being managed because as you're 100% right. Like the position they're in, the points and everything, like if they finish this season strong and Collingwood drop a game or two, they could be finishing in the pole spot at number 1. So I have a feeling he might be feeling a bit under the weather or he's managing something in terms of an injury. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Who knows? Next game, we've got the Demons and West Coast. I'm sure there'll be plenty of eyes on for this one for performers. But in terms of big news, honestly, Harley Reid being out is probably the biggest news that you'll get in this. On the Melbourne side, all of their guns are playing. Everyone is roaring and ready to go after what might be the loss of the century that they had on the weekend.
It's very nice of you to call them guns, but yeah, I don't know.
They have some guns. Not that Melbourne are guns, but they definitely have some guns.
Let's just say thank God for fantasy footy because this game would not be watchable if you didn't have a Pickett or someone running around in your squad. So
yeah, fair enough. Look, next game after that, Suns Richmond. Took Miller comes in for the Suns.
Oh, yeah.
So one of their big dogs in the midfield is there. We know that midfield's been firing as of recent, especially in terms of fantasy. On the Richmond side, nothing too fantasy significant. The game you were referring to, My Bloods versus the Dons. Peter Laddams is coming in. There's nothing I dread more than reading our lineup news and seeing the Peanuts, as the SC Sword Play would call him, coming into the team. It's very disappointing.
Yeah, for me, it's comedy. I know how much you love him. I know how much you love him having set shots at goal. But no real big fantasy news. Roberts may be out. There is a player down back that I will talk about. I'm keen to see if you've got him on his rankings. There's like someone in my squad at the moment, but I'm not sure about it. It's more of a matchup because Essendon have been so poor. But yeah, maybe that Matty Roberts spot sort of gives a few more touches to someone else.
For sure. And Jordan Ridley out as well. So they're already really thin, and that's one of their backs and big ball winners back there. So does it open the door for playing a pod like a McGrath when it got Redmond? Who knows? We'll see how everyone...
Don't play McGrath. I've never heard someone play McGrath and be happy about it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But he's just one of those players that could just,
You can talk yourself into him, but no.
Collingwood versus the Lions. This is going to be the game of the round. In terms of players in and out, Pendle's in, De Goey in, Bobby Hill in. So 3 massive ins for Collingwood. But in terms of fantasy implications, nothing too significant there. And then on the other side...
I guess the only thing that I'd think about is... Oh, sorry, you're going to get into Oscar McInerney out. That's the one I'm keeping an eye on because Cameron's very playable. But I don't think he'd be sort of in the best rucks at the moment. But that's the only in and out of this game that had me at least looking into it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'll have a little talk about that later. But it's a big out for sure. And I think that he shoots up the ranks in terms of rucks for the round. St Kilda, nothing too significant here. Max Heath in as a backup ruck. For North, you've got Larkey back in. Wardlaw is in. And other than that, you've got Jai Simpkin out. So one of the better forwards that we've been able to play all year in Simpkin is going to be on the pine because he's injured, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's always a good one because there's a few of those guys in that North team that at different times they've been out and they've led to points for some of the other sort of guys we have as forwards. Keen to see how that one goes. That'll be a good one for your forward rankings.
Yes, and then the next game, Catters versus your Port Power, mate. On the Cat side, nothing too significant in all honesty. On the Port side, Bergman out, Lukosius out, Evans also out. So no big names, but I know Bergman's going to sting, at least in terms of as being an actual fan of the game.
Yeah, we can skip that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Won't talk about it any longer. The last game of the round, we've got the Dockers versus Carlton. And honestly, can't see anything too significant. Of course, the 2 big outs, I guess we can touch on, are Curnow and Chera. So one of the midfielders for Carlton. They're already so thin and have been playing pretty poorly. And now they've lost one of their starting mids in Chera. So huge outs there. But that wraps us up. That's the round, round 21. Let's talk about some rankings. Who is going to play good, in my opinion, who I think you should be considering. And maybe we'll talk about some pods as well due to the news.
Let's rip in.
You know where we start? We start with the defenders. Now, Isaiah Wanganeen-Milera. We haven't spoken about it, so let's do it. That is the greatest end of a game I've ever seen. And he just put the team on his back, though. Like, It's been a good 4 days, and I still am not over what I saw.
It was pretty nuts. Nuts.
Borderline miracle.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. It was awesome. And yeah, I'm sure the Melbourne fans are sick of it. I think Roscoe and the third man up boys, GDS partner, have been talking about it all week. Every time I flick on, you can just see the smile on Roscoe's face. But I'm sure that's the same with every Saints fan. But he was just fantastic. And yeah, tell you what, he's going to be asking for a little bit more money now, and he probably deserves it wherever he goes. But correct me if I'm wrong, you have lock emojis beside these guys normally. Is that just you've just not done that? Because I was going to say you don't have one on him, and he's probably one that deserves something probably more than a lock.
Yeah, look, well, I think we changed the format a little bit since you've been gone, mate. We used to do that, but now I show my squad in order. So the top left there is my number one.
You don't have confidence in any locks anymore, so you just got rid of them. You're sick of being burnt by the locks.
My locks are okay. It's everyone else that's not okay. History would say. But Wanganeen-Milera, my number one defender for the round, absolute jet. And, someone who's flying under the radar is Jack Sinclair, his teammate. He's been pretty bloody good as well. 145 fantasy points.
Not under my radar. I've done a lot of things wrong over the last couple of weeks, but he has actually been on a bit of a tear. And I haven't been able to pick between him and Naz, so I've actually played both of them. I've been getting that one right, but I've definitely been getting the Giants one wrong. So, yeah, I definitely think Sinclair, and I'm pretty sure he's got a pretty good matchup. They've got North Melbourne, so you'd imagine both those boys tee off, but I can see only one of the Giants boys in there.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm looking at Whitfield. He's back. He's playing his role. just can't not get him in. I burnt him last week because I thought he was getting a Jordan tag, and he just played really, really well against us Bloods. And then I've got Sheasel, who's playing in the guts against the Saints. Really good matchup, whether he is playing in the middle or sort of playing off the halfback as well, or pushing up. John Noble, I've subbed in. That was my Zorko replacement. He probably should be in a 7th spot, but I feel like it's pretty much of a coin flip between me with Noble, McKercher sitting there at the 6 and 7. But McKercher's been in wicked form, and I can see this Saints game, if they get on top, he might get a lot of opportunity to score big, especially taking the bulk of kick-ins now over Daniels. And then John Noble's just been pretty solid all year, and he's versing Richmond too. He'll have a chance to get really attacking, come up the ground, and score very, very well. I think the 3 on the bench, though, where it's going to be some of the big decisions made. I've got Ash there. He probably doesn't deserve to be on the pine. He's had such a stellar year, but I just really like the matchups for these other 7 I have in, hence why I'm starting him over. But the big conversation I have here, Cal, is Zorko. It's come out he has a List Frank injury. He still is going to be playing, but last week he had 1 kick out, and this is a player who takes nearly all the kick outs for the Lions always. So does that bring his fantasy potential down? I think he's still in the conversation, irrespective because of how good he is, but I have a feeling he's not going to want to be using that foot as much as he normally does to try to rest it and be good for the finals. So I'm actually fading him. One of the best defenders for the year in terms of average performance so far. I don't have him in my best 7, and I actually don't think he'll get in. I'm more likely to put Ash in, or maybe even Clark, knowing that he's healthy compared to a potentially 50-50 Zorko that Auntie Booger mentioned just here.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. So that's good. I actually didn't have him in my 7 last week because I just thought he was, this week, because I actually thought he was awful. I saw the kick-ins. I'm like, that's a concern. It was a bit of a strange game in the wet.
Yeah.
And, normally in those wet games, you don't play him. I know you have on many occasions not played him, and he's turned out to have an absolute massive score. So
yeah.
I just liked a few other matchups, but I didn't know about the injury. So that makes me feel even better about it. I didn't think too much about McKercher. McKercher's probably one that I probably don't give enough love to.
It's really hard, though, because you're sort of going up against an Ash or a Noble or a Sheasel, sort of that sort of range. At least my rankings, that's sort of how it plays out for me. And it's a big decision, but it's a bit of this, it's a bit of that, potato, tomato.
And I even thought about one of the Freo defenders as well.
Yep.
Just again, because they're playing Carlton on that Sunday game. And I'm like, ooh, I can just see them just controlling the ball, having an absolute field day. Can I tell you who I've gone? Someone different here?
Is not someone in this list. Go.
Not someone on this list.
Absolutely.
Callum Mills.
Interesting.
I've had him thereabouts. Obviously, really, really good matchup this week against Essendon.
Yep.
And now with the Matty Roberts out, I'm not sold on it yet. I normally will sit down on a Friday and figure out in a bit more detail. Do I definitely want to lock in a few of these thoughts that I've had during the week? But Callum Mills, as of right now, is sitting there in my 7th spot. I don't have Ash in my squad, so I've got to make a decision in the next 20 minutes if I do want to go with him.
Yes,
but
true.
If not, it probably would be one of the Freo boys. I was thinking Clark. But yeah, Mills is currently there. I don't know if I'll stick with it, but you being the Swannies boy, what do you think about him up against Essendon this week?
It's not a bad play. I'll talk about the game in general because Auntie Booger said thoughts on Redmond. Like, definitely the issue for me with this game is it's meant to be bucketing down in Sydney. There's meant to be a lot of rain, and it's going to really impact the potential of someone like Redmond, who's an intercept marker, who'll take the kick-ins, who, sort of likes to play that kick mark game, and that scores really well in fantasy. But if the conditions aren't correct, he's just not going to have the chance to do that. We've seen that the Dons very often like to switch it, and Redmond will just sit back, wait for the switch, get some easy points in that manner. And I guess sort of the same maybe with Mills, like probably impacts Mills a little less because he can play on the inside. He is a bit more physical, and he is traditionally a midfielder who's sort of gone into that defensive role. I think he's a little more versatile than someone like a Redmond. So if I had to pick between the two, I'd be taking Callum Mills for sure. But I do have some big concerns on the weather and what that's going to do overall for players in the game.
Well, it's meant to be bucketing down on Sunday in Perth as well. So it's almost like
Yep.
every defender that you look at here, and does it make Ash under the roof tonight that little bit more attractive?
Spicy, yeah.
McKercher on Sunday is going to be under the roof as well. So that might be, if you want to play sort of the safe hand,
Yeah.
maybe. But
Well, I'd love to know what you think, Auntie Booger. Are you concerned about the weather, or are you just looking at the matchup and just going to trust that? Look, it traditionally over the season we've seen that that's going to be a good matchup for Mills, for Redmond, and going to trust in it.
yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. And you've got the clouds out for your midfielders.
Yeah, I do, especially in Goulden in particular. It's his 100th game, milestone game, and if it was in any other conditions, it would just be like I would be saying, just play the best possible version of Goulden. It's a milestone game. It's one of the best matchups in the competition, but it's going to be bucketing down and very similar to the conversation we just had then. Errol Goulden, one of his most elite aspects is his kicking ability and how many marks he'll take. He pushes back defensively. He gets forward. He plays that wing role to a T. He's one of the only wingers who, in terms of fantasy, just plays absurdly well. So,
yeah, I've got another Swan currently in my squad at the moment, again for the matchup. But again, yeah, you're scaring me here with the rain. But I just think that they're going to just absolutely blitz.
they will,
Essendon.
though. That's the thing. Like, it's a big decision, but I'm going to bank on, and like you touched on before with the season, I'm at the point now where I need to start taking some risks. And I
You
think
do.
like this
You
is
do.
one of the risks that I need to take. Like you can see there, my number 8, who's the third highest averaging mid for the year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I've got Goulden, who last year was the highest averaging midfielder in the competition. So I'm definitely throwing some curveballs here, but my top ones at least. We'll come back to those players in a second. I've got Dacos.
Dacos pretty standard. He's pretty
Standard.
good. Doesn't matter who he's playing. He's a big game player. I'm not worried about him coming up against the Lions.
Yeah, Noah against Richmond in a game like this.
You've gone both the boys here.
Yeah, Matty Rao sort of on the deeper end of it, but Noah, I tend to find that when he has the better matchups, because he has that goal kicking ability and he can go forward, that he just has a bit more of a ceiling when he's versing a team like a Richmond or a West Coast, where he's not going to get that much attention and he's just going to be allowed to sort of play his game, because that's probably the one limiting factor that Noah has, is that he always will get the attention from an opposition team. But in this matchup in particular, I don't see any attention coming his way. And I think he just has the chance to eat and be one of the best mids for the round. So I'm big on him this one.
I did think about him, but I thought even bigger against Matty Rao, just because inside midfielders against Essendon have just been eating, and this guy
Richmond,
has been eating. Sorry, Richmond just been eating. So I've got Rao in there, but I tell you what, I did think long and hard about playing Noah Anderson as well.
I'm doing the double. Yeah,
you're doing the double. I like it. It's a strong double. Again, I've got my current midfield. I've got Brayshaw, who we've just spoken about in the rain, who you've got in there, which we'll touch on in a second. But again, tasty matchup. Heaney in the rain, tasty matchup. And Rosie, who maybe has one working hand, which, I'm playing him because I love him. So I don't feel great about that one. If I didn't have Rosie, that would probably be the guy that would step up in there. But you're sticking with Brayshaw.
Yeah, Auntie Booger says he's out. I'm assuming you're talking about Redmond there. And hopefully you're welcome, but we'll see. If he ends up popping off, I'm not liable for any damages.
You know where Tom will be this time next week.
Brayshaw, I think he bounces back. He had a really disappointing performance in one of the best matchups. Look, whether he's going to be a factor, but it's meant to be a lot lighter from what I've seen than at least the Sydney game. So if I'm going to gamble, or not gamble, if I'm going to bank on doing one or the other, I'm probably going to go this game to end the round rather than doing the Sydney one where they're expecting, just the rain clouds. You can see it there in my image. Jordan Dawson, pretty safe play. He's been a little disappointing as of recent, in all honesty. He's definitely dipped from that really hot start that he had at the start of the year. But, I just think he's going up against the Hawks. I just think he plays really solid. I don't see a big ceiling, but I just see a really good game. And I think that's all I'm asking for from him.
Yeah, I'm not sure about him. He's on the bubble. And again, he's been fantastic. But again, like you said, he does have a bit of a tougher matchup this week. So I don't quite have him in my squad at the moment. But yeah, I can definitely see the case for him if you think the Crows are going to be able to stand up against Hawks and play a little bit more of the ball. And yeah, he loves big games too, Geordie Dawson. He doesn't disappear in them. So as long as he doesn't get stuck in the goal square, he's normally pretty reliable. So
Bont's back. The big bad Bont, we used to call him, Cal, on this show just only a year ago. He's just back to his best footy. He eased into it. He came off an injury. Richards and Libba and just were taking the reins and said, don't worry, we've got you whilst you're, sort of easing your way back in. But over the past couple of weeks, it's just 150s, 140s, 185 there as a silver. So it's just an explosion of points. I think he's going to play really well tonight. And shout out to Goat Fantasy, one of our partners, but he did put on X that Giants announced that they will not be tagging Marcus Bontempelli.
I saw that, and I'm like, yeah,
or not.
Yeah, I'm not believing anything about tags ever again until the game starts. I'm not believing a word. But Bont's looked awesome. I was lucky I got to see him in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago, and he is very clearly the best player on any field he steps on.
Yeah, he's pretty bloody good, isn't he?
He is very good. So it's no surprises. Under the roof, pretty good matchup. Like pretty middle of the road. I've got him in there, and it's just a question of how much salary cap do you put on him. So
that's it. And then Matty Rao, the guy that you touched on, one of these superstars or surprise superstars for these Suns. He's been so good. Now, we did mention Took Miller comes back into the mix. So they have been playing without Took over the past couple of rounds. Noah Plate has been playing okay, but Rao over that period has been just dropping bombs.
He's just been eating. So I think, I'd be nervous more about Rao than Noah. But again, such a good matchup. I think you, with confidence, play both of them and look pretty good. And just hope it stays dry enough that they feast. So
that's it. And then touched on Rose, just not healthy. And I've got to take these risks. And I'm like, if I'm not 100% sold on someone in their health, this could come back to burn me because he's averaging 125 over the year. But I'm going to
most of that damage was done at the start of start of the year. 116 last week. It's okay. But again, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a tougher game playing down in Geelong. I think it's going to be a very tough day. So I wouldn't be surprised if most people are just keeping him out because, like you said, there's really good matchups this week.
And I do think Butters gets tagged. So that's why I don't have him in my top 10. I think Butters is going to cop a tag in this one.
I don't think it'll matter. I think we'll be talking more about the forwards in a second and you'll know how I feel that game's going to go.
Okay. Heaney's a bit of a pod. We did speak about the rain, but I just see him he's one of the best.
He can still kick 5 goals in the rain. So, he's a bit different to Goulden where it's raining. Yeah. It's almost like Heaney he can catch the ball like no one in the league. So I don't worry. He could catch it. He can take marks in the wet.
And my number 10th ranked player for this round is going to be Hewitt because someone has to win the ball. Like they might not win the game, but someone needs to get the ball in their hands. And Hewitt is primed to be, I guess, the best scoring mid for Carlton. Now, how high that score is going to be the big tell, and whether you're going to get him in your squad or not as maybe a pod or how you want to play it, that's completely up to you. But I do think it's in the conversation, and there is a world where you had 135 fantasy points last round. There is no Chera. It's going up against Freo. He could play really good. He could play really great.
I'm all for a curveball to try and, a bit of a Hail Mary to try and get yourself up the rankings and get yourself a late prize card. I don't know that's going to get you any closer.
Don't like it?
Don't like
it.
Look,
he's at 10 for a reason, so,
Yeah.
He's at 10 for a reason.
Keep
I understand. All right, I'll take the L on that one. Let's move on. Let's go to some rucks, And you'll like the number 1 ruck I have because I have a feeling you will be playing this player, but not only just starting him in a really nice rarity. We'll get on that a little later. Max Gawn against West Coast. Yum me. Yes. Don't think about it. Whatever, type in, this is what I want you to do. If you haven't put in your ruck yet, go to the swap player option if Gawn isn't in. Use the search filter. Go Gawn and filter by average. And whatever the first Gawn that comes up, which is your highest rated Gawn, get him in. Get him in. That's all you need to do. Start with that and then build the rest of your squad. Because I'm expecting a monster performance from Maxi, especially considering just they need to get a win. There's a lot on.
I think it's more the fact he's going up against the VFL ruckman this week, and Max Gawn's pretty good against AFL ruckman. I think he's going to be pretty good against VFL ruckman. And if the Demons don't come out looking to fire a bit of a shot after what I'm sure has been a pretty rough week, then they're in a lot more trouble. But no, I do like Max Gawn. I think he's going to be pretty unanimous. I think I came on last year and declared a couple of different weeks, Max Gawn weeks, and I think I was 50-50. I think sometimes he went ballistic and other times
don't curse us.
He didn't do so well, but this week is definitely a Max Gawn week. So I agree with you. You've said it's a Max Gawn week without saying it's a Max Gawn week. So
yes,
you'll see my squad. I've gone out and found the highest averaging Max Gawn I could, and he is sitting in my ruck one spot at the moment.
Nice work, good stuff.
But you've gone my boy in second. Yeah, you've gone my boy, and I've gone your boy, or one of your boys. You've got a few of them now in the ruck spot.
I am thinking about this, and I had a conversation with Bales yesterday, and Max Heath coming in to the Saints means that he is going to be splitting some time in the ruck. When Heath doesn't play for the Saints, it's only good things for Rowan Marshall, and we really see those ceiling scores because we know he has it in him. He's had those 170 games, those 150 games.
This guy top scoring last year. Don't forget that.
Yes, but we've also seen at this point of this year where we've seen 80-point performances, and we've seen the tail of both ends here, and it's a little tough to pick. But no Cherry, the big X is still out. He's going up against Teakle. I think that should be all you need to know. I'm sort of looking at that matchup and thinking, even if he is spending some time, whether it's forward or who knows where it is, he's just going to dominate in that ruck spot. He's going to get a ton of hit outs, and it's really going to bring up his floor. But Grundy was really tough to fade. He honestly deserves the spot. If you're talking about the most informed player in the competition, it's currently Brodie
That's
Grundy.
What I'm talking about him. Yeah, who also was going up against Todd Goldstein.
With Gold again.
So there's some good matchups, and you know what? I was pretty on the fence about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to come on with Grundy just because he has been so good. And I know we've got All-Stars coming up for this year. I know he's banging on the door to try and get himself a late selection.
Absolutely.
Something about the ruck spots. There's always a ruckman who decides the second half of the year is going to be his. And Brodie Grundy is absolutely trying to claim one of those cards this year, which I'm super excited for. Stay tuned. I've got no part in the All-Star selection, so I'm very, very excited to see how that goes. But again, in the rain, I'm just looking maybe. Do you look at Rowan Marshall, big boy under the roof versus Grundy, if there is going to be a bit of rain about? If that's the deciding factor, maybe the safe bet is actually going to Marshall. So maybe I do call it. But we'll see.
Let me give you something tough for that. Brodie Grundy he's the ruck pig, right? He gets a lot of disposals as a ruck, and that's why he's been playing so well. We've seen 20 disposal games just back to back to back.
Playing as another midfielder. Yeah.
Pretty much. Really but what I can see, because he's playing as another midfielder, this could be a week where he has 10 tackles because it's just sloppy. It's a lot of rain. The ball's stuck there. And not only will he have 10 tackles, but we've seen a game this year where he had 60 hit-outs. There could be another absolute decimation for hit-outs. And if you're pairing that combination together, I actually don't mind still playing Grundy, just understanding that his scoring may look a little different from weeks prior. So I wouldn't be expecting this all these marks and kicks and disposals that he had, but I'll be expecting sort of that side of the game to come through here.
Well, the good thing is that Swans game doesn't kick off till Saturday afternoon. So we'll have seen 3 full games before that kicks off.
Yep.
Before I make the decision on, how's the round going? So, yeah, that'll definitely be one that is open to a Saturday swap.
Yeah, and look, Cameron there at number 5. I actually think he goes in front of English with the big O news there. So 4 legitimate options to be talking about in terms of rucks you can play.
I thought it glitched out there for a second because he's talking about Cameron and you're looking at the forwards. I'm like, hang on, did I have a stroke? Did I miss the first 3? No, Darcy. Yeah, got there. I got there in the end. He, like you said, and another week, potentially playable. Last chance to get your hands on the legend Darcy Cameron is tonight, Tom. The members only draw on Discord currently has a squad building challenge where you can put it yourself, your hand in, try and get that Darcy Cameron, who probably is going to be playing a few finals games the way Collingwood are looking. So there's something there if you do believe in Darcy Cameron this finals. But let's talk about the forwards because this is the one I'm most excited for because I've we've gone the same theme here where you've gone 3 cats in your top 7. I went one more. I went 4. This is going to be an absolute massacre. They're bringing it. I don't know if you've been seeing. It's just so infuriating. They're giving Rory Atkins like this massive week this week. Congratulations, retirement week. This guy's played, one and a half games for the club, and they're prancing him around like he's an absolute star, which, good on him. But just not acknowledging the fact we got mauled last week and we're about to get mauled this week. So it's just absolute shambles. Rosie's injured. Bergman, one of the only guys who's been trying this year. Yeah, I just think we're going to get absolute. I hope Cameron kicks 15 goals. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But, yeah, I'm all for it.
I hope he does too. And we ask this question every single round. So let's do it again. How many cats is too many? How many is too many? I think my perfect number this week is 4.
I was going to say, who'd be the 5th cat if you try to get a cat in there?
Manor.
No, he's the
forward line.
He'd be
in
the
particular.
Fourth. Yeah. I'm talking.
Gotcha.
How many?
I'm talking about Holmesy, sorry, in defence as well, I guess. But
I've got Holmes as well. Who'd be the next cat that comes in? Jack Martin. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Mel's asked 100-point loss this week. Honestly, 120. I'm setting the line there. Maybe Brad Close comes into the squad and kicks 6 goals. Yeah, you can't go wrong with cats in your squad this week.
You go Stengle.
Stengle.
He kicks a bag.
Why not? Someone. It's not just going to be one person. It's going to be like that game where they beat Melbourne by 200 points. So.
Yeah. Well, look, it's been a while since you've been on, Cal. So I just want to have a quick discussion with you about Cozzy Pickett. I was copping a bit of heat earlier this year when, people didn't think he was legit. And I came out and said, no, Cozzy Pickett is a legit forward option. It has been some months since
you stood your ground firmly with that one. We've apologized for this already. You stood your ground very firmly. You were right. We admitted you're right. You nailed it. You saw it before everyone else
said
did.
That, and then you withdrew it. But now I need you to say it again.
Well done. Here's your flowers. Cozzy Pickett's been in awesome form. Last week wasn't so good.
You're right.
The ball did not go near him in the last quarter, but it didn't go near a lot of the Melbourne players in the last quarter. So 95 off 3 quarters was pretty good. I've got him in there in my squad at the moment. They have a pretty tasty matchup against West Coast. Again, under the roof. Don't worry about the weather. I think West Coast, obviously everyone thinks they're in shambles. So, no, he's an easy one. He's in my squad.
Playing mid, going to go forward, going to kick a bag, absolutely get him in. Kennedy's just real safe, honestly. He's just one of the safest forwards to play overall. He's got a really good role. He's going to get midfield time, and he can kick a goal forward as well. So definitely just getting him in, not thinking about it too much. McRae's a bit of an interesting one. We've seen a regression in CBAs, especially over the past couple of rounds. I know the Saints are trying some things in the middle. And one of the big things they're trying is Wanganeen Miller playing as a midfielder, which is fantastic for Isaiah, but it has sort of impacted McRae a little bit, but it's a really tasty matchup nonetheless. He's playing as a mid and a forward in our game, so they're sort of out of position players. You've got to target them, and in one of the better matchups, he had 104 last week. I'm hoping he can build on that again and sort of crack the 100 mark and potentially get even a little higher.
I was actually thinking, because I've gone the extra cats forward, it's kind of pushed me to make a decision between Kennedy and McRae. So that's where I'm at this week.
Oh, don't tell us. I want to keep it a secret. We're about to find out.
So that's where I was thinking long and hard about it. But again, you just don't know at the end of the year. People change up, coaches change up how they want to play their teams, particularly teams like Saints and Sydney, whose seasons are done now, right? That's the thing. What does Sydney do now that their season's officially done and they're already thinking about 2026? There can be a few curveballs, and there can be a few surprise people that pop up. Like if you'd had asked me if Teakle's name would have been on the list last time I was on the show, never would I have thought Teakle would have popped up. But hey, North trying things, and look at there he is, number 10 in your forward ranking. So yeah, crazy things can happen and towards the end of the year.
Yeah, well, we'll get to him in a second. Brian Myers, just safe. Playing midfield as well, actually. Another player that McRae's regressed in CBAs. He's seen an uptick in CBAs suddenly. Geelong are trying some things and being like, can we use Inkata Messi in the midfield and potentially set up a elite attack? And it's been working. It's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, I am all for the Cats this week, so you don't need to tell me about
I won't
Graham
convince you.
Mayers. No, don't. I'm already convinced. I'm already there.
Okay. Luke Jackson, been so solid. He just gets over 100 every week. Even if he's playing as the backup ruck, he's playing as an on-baller at times. He's going forward. He's going to have a chance to kick a couple goals against Carlton as well. I just see him, even if it is a little wet, he's still going to play really well and have that upside where he deserves a spot. And then Jezza, he kicked 11 goals. It's pretty hard to fade anyone after they kick 11, especially coming into a really good matchup where, Cal, you're predicting a lot of points. So I won't harp on that. I guess the big ones on the bench there is Darcy. If he didn't have Sam Taylor, probably starts and maybe over someone like a Luke Jackson and be a bit more cautious with the weather. But Taylor on him is one of the better defenders. I don't know how much it's going to impact him because if anyone's going to outmark and outplay someone that caliber, it's definitely Darcy. But I don't want to be banking on it and watching the game tonight, hoping that he can get dangerous in front of goals.
Yeah, I think Darcy is always a good play because
he's just solid.
He's a solid footy player.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy to think that he went down at the start of the year and now he's already back and looking just as good. So someone you don't have in there at all, I more probably want to talk about because I don't have Jackson. Jackson, I just thought on Sunday, again in the rain, don't love it the same way I love it. Maybe a Grundy. You don't have Dylan Moore.
Yeah, I just think it's a matchup for me. Honestly, he's come back like he was one of the
against the Crows for those.
Yeah. Like he was one of the forwards that I was probably most disappointed me this year. I had him as an all-star lock.
Oh, he was the highest averaging forward. Like the forwards this year, he was the highest averaging from last year, and Correct. He's currently averaging below 95.
Yeah,
so that is you can see all the players there. There's not a player that you've got there in bronze close to 95. Jeremy Cameron's 102.
To your credit is that he's come back into form. He's really starting to play his role really well. But I do have concerns against the Crows in particular. If it was any other week, I think more gets in the conversation. But I do see potentially, just the Crows, their defensive play style. They're really good at minimising sort of fantasy impact for a lot of players. And Hawthorn are also very good in that in their right mind. So this could be, it's a very funny game. You might see a couple players explode, but I'm a little more cautious in these sort of games that can just be a bit of a meh game for fantasy.
He is a little bit of a roller coaster, but he's playing early in the week, so I don't have the luxury of waiting till Saturday afternoon to being like, do I actually need this upside here? So I'll see how I go tonight. I've got a few of the guys playing. So he's on the bubble for me. I don't do mine in order when you look in the squad, but he's definitely on the bubble. He was just inside that Kennedy McRae. But
mate, let's quickly fly through this last little bit here. Manor just safe, but he's probably out of the three forwards that I have. I just have him a little under in terms of upside. Mate. And Teakle, he's starting ruck for North right now. So he's going up against Marshall, who is one of the better ruck matchups in the competition. We saw Teakle go up against the Geelong Cats last round. He's versus Stanley. Had a pretty good game. Didn't explode, probably why he's at number 10. But if you want a big swing and a pod player that not many other people will be considering, Teakle is your man in the forward line for this round. So you've heard it here first. If you want to do something like that, that would be my big recommendation. If you want to zag, everyone's zigging.
I want to know how Teakle became a forward in our game. Obviously not us. We get our data through Champion, through stats before.
The Big X would have done that to him. No one was expecting him to play in the ruck, so...
Well, he was a ruckman when we got picked up by Port. I saw his debut in Adelaide against your Swannies, and he was a ruckman. He looked good, but I don't know how he became a forward. But hey, it's not a bad play. And if you are looking for a bit of an upside, or you're going, hey, I'm going to have a roll something out in a competition that maybe I'm not strong in, why not get yourself a Teakle card? I'm sure they'll be pretty cheap. Someone will be selling somewhere. So, no, I like it. It's going to be a good week. I think I'm going to have to wait right till Sunday to figure out if I'm having a good round or not. But yeah,
he's at 90 points and 116 in back-to-back rounds as the number one ruck for North. Cal, that's enough of me yapping. We're only 5 minutes away from this game starting. So why don't you share your screen, show us the squad that you're going to be rolling out with in round 21.
Yeah, sorry, I'll close everything and I'll roll this up. Hopefully you can see this here.
Any last minute, Ash? Did you get him in or about to find out?
No, I didn't. I didn't get my last minute ash in. You can see there. I've kind of been telling you who I think as I go through. It's definitely Gorn week.
Diamond, Naz,
I've got
Diamond, Gorn.
I've got
Wow.
Naz Diamond in there, but I actually don't know. Like he can't be as good as he was last week. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get my hands, and I haven't tried very hard. I've only decided this afternoon that I'm going to go out and I'm going to hunt a Jeremy Cameron Diamond. And I'm probably
That's the
going to
decision
move.
you're making.
I'm probably going to move that Wanganeen Miller out to a Cameron Diamond or at least a Platinum, and go all in on that. So I see Skip's in the chat. Welcome, Skip. I've got Skip in our private league. I've got him in the semi-final this week. So
true.
Yeah. My his prize for winning last week and my prize for losing to Fez is diverse Skip. So elimination game. Good luck to you, Skip. There's my squad. Take notes. I'll definitely have to change it now, just to keep him on his toes. And I'll definitely be sending him some screenshots of players that definitely aren't in my squad as they have good rounds to get in his head. But yeah, that's my squad, Tom. I'm hoping that I can hang on to one of those prize card spots. It's been a fall since I've been on the show, but hopefully those 22 do enough this week to keep me in there.
A lot of similarities. I'm super surprised you have Isaac Heaney in there, but I like the play. As I mentioned, he was in my rankings there. Forward line.
I watched him play 2 weeks ago and was like, this guy's the best player on the planet.
Fair enough.
So that's still burning in my mind. And I'm like, he's up against another very easy team. So
a couple comments before we go, Cal. We'll wrap it up. The game is about to get started. So did you see the interview during this week? Myers getting tagged, so he'd swap jerseys with the chubby kid. Yes, I did. And they put him in the back pocket, and they would keep tagging this guy because of the number. But then Myers would just be toweling up, and then by quarter or half time, they realized this guy's no good, and they moved the tag.
That's unreal.
Right, in this one, I'm going at Bailey Humphrey this week. He's been seeing an uptick in CBAs. He's a forward. He's been playing pretty good. But look, Miller comes back in. I wonder how that sort of messes with the dynamic. But he can play as a forward and kick goals. So very good pod. Absolutely.
Yeah, Corey, I'm pretty sure Tom called me today just to tell me about Bailey Humphries and how he's potentially playable today. So he wasn't in your near your squad tonight, Tom, but I know you're high on him. So
absolutely. And Skip, one last one here. He's saying best of luck, Cal. So there we have it,
mate. If I lose to a Kiwi who's comes from a rugby league background in an AFL semi-final, I'm going to be very sad. Very happy for you, Skip. You're killing it this year, but yeah, I can't let you get that one over me. So good luck. I hope your team does it up.
Oh, come on, mate. Well, that's going to wrap us up here for the GameDay Squad Aussie Rules live show. We have just previewed round 21. The absolute best of luck to everyone. Of course, make sure you get your squads in. Sort of the game tonight will already be locked out as of now, so it'd be a little too late if you are trying to make those last minute calls, but we've got 4 rounds of competitions left. So we're still doing the best prizes, 4 rounds, and we got finals.
And finals. We've got 8 more weeks of footy to go. And then we've got another football in English football starting as well. This footy's not going to stop here on GameDay Squad. I'm pumped about it. So good luck, everyone. Again, except for Skip. I'd probably be giving you the same sort of love, Tom, if I thought we were in competition for a prize card, but I think I'm pretty safe. At least from you. So
I'm coming for you, mate. Don't you worry.
We'll see. Get me back on once the season's over, and we'll see where we land.
We'll see you in 4 weeks. All righty. Best of luck, everyone. We'll catch all your legends this time next week to preview round 22. Peace out, everyone.
See you.